very important discussion, I think, for Montenegro, because indeed the EU session process is going forward quite fast. We see that there is motivation coming from EU member states, but also we see that motivation is also coming from the society per se. So when we talk about issues and problems, I think it's worth to mention that one of the biggest issues is money, and I think there is no issue here. I think there are funds here, plenty of funds that are available to help Montenegro to move forward. I think if we pick that box that the funds are available, I think we need to analyze how those funds can be effectively, transparently, within the relevant accountabilities, over monitoring, effectiveness, implemented on time. And I think this is where also we need to focus on those aspects. We as an organization, as an I1, we are also privileged to get an award from the EU delegation and basically to implement a few accelerators of the EU session process. And actually, we also have this direct experience in dealing with the government institutions, with the coordination, with the effectiveness of the local institutions as well as the local partners. And definitely, I can say that there are certain capacities there, but can we all do it better and faster? I think yes, we can do that. But I think it's also important to mention that aside the local capacities that are out there, I think we also need to start to think about what are the external capacities that Montenegro has. And I'm talking about diaspora here. And diaspora has a huge experience and exposure, not just living culturally. They have huge resources, mental, financial resources, that ideas how they can further help Montenegro to speed up the EU accession process.
A pre-acceleration, there were 70 companies, none from Montenegro.
I agree with you, yes.
I think a few days ago, none. 70 is none from Montenegro. I was, stunned. So there were some from the region, but none from Montenegro. Startup Europe, and yes, annual calls. Those are some calls which need some time and we can start today with this session.
Hello everyone again. We will continue now in English, and we move to working session number 4 by name 8 strategic project pipelines for full EU program integration, which will be led by Mr. Boško Nektarjević, senior expert from the European Affairs Consulting Group. Mr. Nektarjević, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Well, first, I'd like to thank you, our partners and hosts from the Scientific Park. It's been a true privilege and a unique opportunity to listen to such contentful and inspiring discussions prior to the launch throughout the first 3 sessions. I think we gathered pretty much all relevant representatives of the innovation ecosystems, and we had a very unique opportunity to observe different viewpoints from the ministries and from the leaders of innovation ecosystems. Now, what came to my personal attention and what I sort of extracted from the debates would be a good introduction to this session, which is operational core. This is essentially the session where we design project pipelines, sectoral pipelines. Now, I remembered, I took a few notes. I'm about to share them with you. I remember statements from ministries saying that one representative of one ministry stated that they believe that they are overachievers, and he had substantiated that with facts. Then that was referring to IPA, Instrument for Pre-Accession. Then financial transparency system published by the European Commission proves and demonstrates that in other segments than IPA, we can't really find evidence for that statement. So we can actually see that in most of competitive EU programs, those called community programs, Montenegro is currently underachiever compared to community countries and member states. Now, we also could see the kind of overwhelmingly generally accepted attitude that ministry representatives believe that they are responsible for community programs. Now, apart from IPA, ministries are not responsible, given the structure and the rules and regulations of EU programs, for Horizon, Digital Europe, Erasmus Plus, and so on. In decentralized management within the Erasmus Plus, we do have a support structure, so we can call that a little bit of not centralized, but certainly not under the management of the ministries. So they are there essentially to coordinate and support. We've also heard that some of the ministries and some of the innovation stakeholders have trained a lot of people in PCM. Now, I would clearly like to distinguish methodologically PCM, which is applied to what we call a group of programs, external aid programs, where instrument for pre-accession fits, and where most of donor program as well fits. So this is where we have what's commonly known as interaction logic of PCM block training. However, in those who have been writing proposals from you for Erasmus Plus or Horizon and so on, they're well acquainted that we actually don't use the same methodological approach, such as IPA, in designing and writing this type of project proposals. Hence, my question was, in what? Training what? Because if we are about to raise competitiveness, where ministry claimed that we are already overachievers, we're actually having a wrong aim. We ought to be raising competitiveness in exactly what this session is about. And those are community action programs where Montenegro is currently underachieving. So, last note that I took was about once it was a statement, I tried to quote it, it was a statement saying that once some of the projects are completed, we can't see any follow-up. Essentially meaning we don't have commercialization. Essentially meaning that what we've created is not delivering societal or economic or business development impacts, nor leading to self-sustainability and ideally profits and development, which is again strongly integrated into this set of programs falling under community programs. And hence, I have a real privilege to announce probably, I can't say the best, but some of the best leaders in their respective fields will present the project pipelines, starting from the innovation ecosystems, academia, and research excellence presentation led by Dr. Sina Soda, whom you already had the chance to be introduced with, so I won't further introduce him. Sana, please.
What would you say about this?
Good morning to everyone. And first of all, thank you very much to the organizers of Science and Technology Park. I think we are really marking 28th of April, a very significant event. I'm very pleased to be in this panel and be in a small environment to discuss very critical issues that actually require undertaking. The United Nations Development Program works with human development constantly as such. So we always, whatever we do, we always do this through the lenses of human development. And we see that Montenegro enters this phase of EU accession from a relatively very positive and very strong human development basis, which provide a very concrete and clear comparative advantage in the Western Balkans, and I think in the region of Eastern Europe, neighborhood countries. When we look at Human Development Index, which USP produces every year, Montenegro ranks 48th strong, which means in terms of categories, it's a high human development category for 50 highly developed countries in the world. Within the region, the positions Montenegro also quite ahead of Serbia, which is 60 years. Albania, which is also around 60 years, Bosnia and Herzegovina is on the 70th place, and North Macedonia goes to around that. If we look at the average of the EU member states, so the human
A while ago already, I know you had very intense discussion today about Montenegro's role in programs and participation in increasing quality, in connecting better actors in this field. And I would like to give a brief, not a long, I know we are at the end of a long day and we have accumulated a little bit of delay in the program, but I would like to give a brief European perspective on many of the discussions you had here today, with some key points maybe.
core. This is essentially the session where we design project pipelines, sectoral pipelines. Now, I remembered, I took a few notes. I'm about to share them with you. I remember statements from ministries saying that one representative of one ministry stated that they believe that they are overachievers, and he had substantiated that with facts. Then that was referring to IPA, Instrument for Pre-Accession. Then financial transparency system published by thematic by the European Commission proves and demonstrates that in other segments than IPA, we can't really find evidence for that statement. So we can actually see that in most of competitive EU programs, those called community programs, Montenegro is currently underachiever compared to candidate countries and member states. Now, we also could see the kind of overwhelmingly generally accepted attitude that ministry representatives believe that they are responsible for community programs. Now, apart from IPA, ministries are not responsible, given the structure and the rules and regulations of EU programs, for Horizon, Digital Europe, Erasmus Plus, and so on. In decentralized management within the Erasmus Plus, we do have a support structure, so we can call that a little bit of not centralized, but certainly not under the management of the ministries. So they are there essentially to coordinate the support. We've also heard that some of the ministries and some of the innovation stakeholders have trained a lot of people in PCM. Now, I would clearly like to distinguish methodologically PCM, which is applied to what we call a group of programs, external aid programs, where instrument for pre-accession fits, and where most of donor program as well fits. So this is where we have what's commonly known as intervention logic of PCM block training. However, those who have been writing proposals from you for Erasmus Plus or Horizon and so on, they're well acquainted that we actually don't use the same methodological approach, such as IPA, in designing